In this video we will show you some of the best gaming laptops in 2024. The last one is really special, so don't miss it. From the extensive research we have brought you this video for you that might be helpful in buying your laptop. So don't just looking at the key specs like RAM or graphics card, instead choose the laptop based on your requirements. There are different types of CPU models that maybe affect your performance. Always consider the CPU model which have H in the end. That means this give you maximum power output but may be low in battery life. The UA model laptops are best for good battery life but low in performance. Also, if you want to buy any of laptop shown in this video, just check the links in the description down below. The greatest gaming laptop we've tested so far is the Asus ROG Strix Scar 16, replacing the Razer Blade 15, which is still listed below. Without hitting the dizzying heights of other premium RTX 40 series systems, this machine flies through anything you throw at it. This is because the Strix Scar offers a sharp pair of RGB panels and a mini LED display worthy of its next-generation chassis, all while precisely where a PC gaming enthusiast needs it: cooling, CPU efficiency, and GPU power. But this isn't a machine for the more sensitive among us. This is still very much a gaming laptop, even though you can turn off the RGB panel that runs over the lower lip. Though it does add to the gamer image and somewhat devalue the experience, the translucent design that runs the length of the main deck wasn't exactly our favorite feature. This device differs even more from your typical workplace laptop thanks to the huge ROG logo on the lid and the etched diagonal lines along the hefty grille towards the back. It's not a very ostentatious design, though, and turning off the LEDs keeps the whole vibe classy. On a gaming laptop, we also have one of the greatest screens we've ever used. The mini LED screens from Asus are called Nebula HDR, and they look great. In the range of 1024 dimming zones to 100 plus nits of peak brightness, colors are exceptionally vibrant and harmoniously balanced with a rich, deep contrast. An excellent virtual surround system and Dolby Atmos combined for a really immersive experience. It's supported with an extensive range of configuration choices, naturally. With an RTX 4090 graphics card and an i9-13980HX CPU, the ROG Strix Scar 16 can easily satisfy anyone searching for a top-tier setup. We tested an RTX 4080 setup using the Intel i9-13980HX processor that is included with both this and the 4090 configuration. In these benchmark testing, the larger, and somewhat more costly Razer Blade 18 was even beaten by the Scar 16. With such figures, you should have no trouble playing games for the next 5 years, and if no exceptionally demanding graphical advances emerge, maybe even longer. Although we're constantly receiving new RTX 40 series gaming laptops, the Asus ROG Strix Scar 16 is now the greatest model to cross our tables. For anyone looking for a high-end device with plenty of power left over for future releases, it's definitely worth the price. The next laptop is Asus TUF A15. Although the Asus TUF A15 has long been a mainstay among inexpensive gaming laptops, its status as one of the best has been solidified by the release of the 2023 model. Since this is a less expensive setup, you have to make some compromises in order to afford the newest parts. But as a result, the performance is excellent value for the money. The metal lid and cool gray hues give the Asus TUF A15 an appearance and sensation of higher quality than its true cost. Although this chassis is primarily made of plastic and features some very tacky text stamps on the main body, overall it has a sleek design that cleverly avoids the frequent angular faults of less expensive rigs. With a neatly tightened hinge to the primary display and just a normal amount of flex in the keyboard area for a gaming laptop at this budget, the build quality is sturdy. Granted, it's not quite as thin as the Asus TUF-F15 that came before it, but it's still a manageable size that's far more affordable than the heavyweights on our list. Similar to other excellent low-cost gaming laptops, the A15 offers all the features you require without overspending on any of them. It stores its value for performance instead. This indicates that you're getting an IPS display with 1080p resolution and 144Hz refresh rate, but in an outdated 16:9 form factor that felt a little constrictive during our tests. Although there is room for improvement in terms of brightness, this screen manages to display colors with sufficient contrast and vibrancy to be functional in a less formal setting. Additionally, this keyboard is full-sized, which is uncommon even in 16-inch devices these days. Although it is a touch softer than we would like, it still does the job. However, you won't be able to get through an entire workday on the fly with that trackpad. It's an awkward implementation with a heavy central part and erratic zoning for each click side. The statistics that filed out of the A15's benchmarks impressed us. It even outperformed a similarly spec'd HP Omen Transcend 16, worth roughly $600 more, in Time Spy and Fire Strike, and it powered through demanding games like Hitman 3 and Returnal without ever dipping below 60 frames per second. With Shadow of the Tomb Raider, you're spending a lot less than normal and yet getting three-figure frame rates, so this is a definite gain. The Asus TUF A15 is a must-see if performance is your top priority and your budget does not allow you to purchase one of the big dogs in this race. It's one of the least expensive devices we've examined thus far, and the performance, form factor, and design have all surprised us. At this pricing point, the sacrifices you make to get there are all worthwhile. Now the last and special laptop, which is Alienware M18. In terms of actual performance, the Alienware M18 is on level with the Asus ROG Strix Scar 18 below, although it lags slightly in the title of the most powerful. However, we think it's the finest 18-inch gaming laptop overall because to its sleek design, variety of setup options, and capabilities that are more suited for desktop usage. When we initially opened the box, the Alienware M18 was surprised to see what was inside. Compared to the more boxy Strix Scar 18 below, the entire design feels more controllable thanks to the front lip's gentle slope to a thin taper. It weighs a whopping 4.23 kilograms and has a big footprint of 410 by 319 by 25 millimeters, so no, this isn't a portable laptop by any means. However, its sleeker form makes it appear less bulky on a desk. You have all of the Alienware rig's design elements elsewhere. The top of a sleek aluminum lid features an engraved 18, while the main body made of plastic maintains the same gray color scheme. Naturally, there's still a pleasing RGB light display to enjoy, albeit one that goes more subdued than Asus. Of course, that 18-inch screen is the main attraction here. The specs that Dell is offering are unusual. There are just two choices, FHD plus 480Hz or QHD plus 165Hz. A midway choice would have been nice, but the QHD plus 240Hz region is now home to both the Asus ROG Strix Scar 18 and the Razer Blade 18. Motion is still smooth, but general handling in higher FPS games may use a little more work. Additionally, we observed that this panel lacks additional HDR features and runs less brightly than the options offered by Razer and Asus. But with a full-sized keyboard, along with a full-size number pad, a 1080p webcam built right in, and a decent port selection, this feels like a true desktop PC substitute. Nonetheless, the M18's component options are really helping it out. With sub-$2,000 RTX 4060 options available, the Alienware M18 is leading the pack in terms of choice. That's ideal if you want to watch movies on a large screen but don't want to spend hundreds of dollars on graphics cards that you won't use to their full potential. In our testing, the Alienware M18 nearly outperformed the Strix Scar 18, even defeating it in a few benchmarks instances. There's still amazing performance behind the hood, even though the Asus rig is still the best. The M18 actually outperformed the more demanding games, such as Total War, Three Kingdoms and Returnal, and consistently managed to squeeze three-figure frame rates into the maximum graphical settings at native resolution. Even though the Alienware M18 makes a few compromises, it nevertheless manages to establish itself as a very flexible gaming laptop. If you have the extra cash, you may set it up to your heart's content, or you can keep things more modestly configured for under $2,000 in big-screen gaming. Few 18-inch computers can make that claim, especially those that are able to extract this much power from their parts. So these are some of the best gaming laptops that you should buy in 2024. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and get this type of content.